Today we are going to be working on the I can statement of I can read, write, and identify decimals through the thousands. Now, as you can see, I have already given you a place value chart that includes decimals. To the left of our decimal is the ones place. To the right are the tenths, the hundredths, and the thousandths. When we read the decimal, we read it as the word and, not point or dot. So let's go ahead and practice writing some decimals. Now, I have written a decimal and it is 0.4. Where would that fit on my number line? The 0 would go before the decimal. The 4 would go after the decimal. So I would read this 0 and 4 tenths, or since the 0 is just a placeholder, I could just read it as 4 tenths. If I have this number, it looks like $1.63. But if I read it as a decimal, I'll plug it into the place value chart. One is before the decimal, one whole thing, and then I have a 6 and a 3. I don't read it 6 tenths and 3 hundredths. I read this number as a whole number. So not just 6 and 3, but 63. So when I read it, I read 1 and 63. Now, is it 63 tenths or 63 hundredths? That's right, it's 63 hundredths, because the number ends in the hundredths place. So this number is 1 and 63 hundredths. Let's try one more. Okay, so here's my number, and I'm going to plug it into my place value chart. Okay, so in this case I have 2 whole things, or 2 in my ones place. I have 0 tenths, 1 hundredth, and 4 thousandths. So I read this number as 2 and 14 thousandths. We are now going to look at numbers written in word form, and we're going to try and plug them into the place value chart. So if I have 16 hundredths, where would I plug my numbers in? Do I have any whole things? Nope. Now, where would I put my 16? Remember, if I write a 16 off to the side, the last number, or the last digit in my number, should end in the same place as what I say. So if the 6 has to go here, it would look like this. So 0 and 16 hundredths, or, again, because this is just a placeholder, I can read this as 16 hundredths. So now I have 4 tenths. Again, I have 0 ones, nothing, no whole things, but I have 4 tenths. So 4 looks like this, so that must go in the tenths place. And I read this as 4 tenths. My last number is 206. So, again, 206 thousandths. I'm sorry. So we need to look at our place value chart. Do I have any whole things? No. How do I write 206? It looks like this. Now I know my number needs to end in the thousandths place. So I have 206 thousandths. And that's how I write 206 thousandths. Remember, whatever place value is in your number, that's where your number ends.